Have you ever wondered why narcissists seem to get away with everything? They lie, manipulate, and destroy lives, yet for a time they appear untouchable. But here's the truth. God sees it all, and divine justice operates in ways we can't always predict. Stay with me as I reveal 5 mysterious ways God punishes a narcissist when they least expect it. Number 1. The gift of isolation. Narcissists thrive on attention and validation. They carefully construct a web of admirers, enablers, and victims to fuel their ego. However, one of the most mysterious ways God punishes them is by allowing their own actions to push people away. Over time, their manipulation, lies, and emotional abuse exhaust those around them. Friends stop calling, family distances themselves, and even their most loyal enablers grow tired of the chaos. The narcissist, who once had an army of people feeding their ego, suddenly finds themselves alone. This isolation is devastating for them because they fear irrelevance more than anything. Without people to manipulate, their illusion of superiority crumbles, and they are forced to sit with the emptiness they've been running from their entire lives. Take, for example, a narcissistic boss who once ruled the workplace with intimidation and fake charm. For years, they played mind games, took credit for others' work, and belittled employees. At first, people tolerated it out of fear, but slowly good employees started leaving, and the company's culture turned toxic. Eventually, the narcissist found themselves surrounded by people who despised them, with no one left to manipulate. Their influence weakened, their career suffered, and they were left in the very position they worked so hard to avoid, isolated, powerless, and forced to face the consequences of their own toxic behavior. This is how divine justice works, not always through dramatic events, but through a slow and undeniable reckoning that leaves the narcissist trapped in the misery they created. Number 2. Losing what they value most. Narcissists build their entire identity around the things they value most: power, control, status, wealth, or relationships that make them look important. They see these as proof of their superiority and invincibility. However, one of the most mysterious ways God punishes them is by stripping them of exactly what they hold dearest. Whether it's their high-paying job, their influence over others, or a romantic partner they use to boost their image, these things slowly slip away. But here's the catch: this loss isn't always sudden or obvious at first. It often happens in a way that forces the narcissist to watch helplessly as everything they worked for crumbles. Their career may suffer from a scandal, their carefully controlled relationships may end, or their financial stability may collapse due to their own arrogance. The very things they worship become their downfall, leaving them humiliated and powerless. Take, for example, a narcissistic entrepreneur who flaunted their wealth and used money to control others. They lived lavishly, treated employees as disposable, and believed their success was untouchable. But over time, their greed led them to make reckless business decisions, trusting only their inflated ego instead of sound advice. Then, the unexpected happened: a major financial crisis hit, investors pulled out, and their empire collapsed overnight. Suddenly, the people they once controlled abandoned them, their luxury lifestyle disappeared, and they were left with nothing. The same money they once used to dominate others became the very thing that exposed their weakness. This is how divine justice operates, not always through direct punishment, but by allowing the narcissist's own pride to set the stage for their greatest downfall. Number 3. The curse of self-destruction. One of the most mysterious yet inevitable ways God punishes a narcissist is by allowing them to become their own worst enemy. Narcissists operate with arrogance, deception, and recklessness, believing they are untouchable. But over time, their unchecked ego leads them to make fatal mistakes. Their constant need for control blinds them to reality, causing them to push away valuable allies, sabotage opportunities, and even expose their own lies. They believe they are outsmarting everyone, but in reality, they are setting traps for themselves. Without realizing it, they create a toxic cycle where their own manipulation backfires, and they end up trapped in the very misery they tried to escape. This self-destruction isn't instant, it's a slow, agonizing fall that forces them to face the consequences of their own actions. Take, for example, a narcissistic politician who thrived on deception and control. At first, they charmed their way into power, making grand promises while secretly betraying those who trusted them. Over time, their lies grew too big to manage, and their arrogance led them to believe they were above accountability. They started making reckless decisions, silencing critics, and ignoring warnings from even their closest advisors. Then, the inevitable happened: one scandal too many, one betrayal too far, and suddenly everything unraveled. The people they once manipulated turned against them, their secrets were exposed, and their once powerful image shattered overnight. Instead of being brought down by an external force, they orchestrate their own downfall. This is the curse of self-destruction, where a narcissist's own pride and deceit become the very weapons that destroy them. Number 4. Exposing them at the right time. Narcissists are experts at deception. They wear masks, manipulate people, and craft a perfect image to hide their true nature. For a long time, it may seem like they are getting away with everything, lying, cheating, and hurting others without consequences. But God has a way of ensuring that the truth always comes out, and when it does, it happens at the perfect moment. The exposure isn't random. It's timed in a way that maximizes their downfall. It happens when they are at the peak of their arrogance, believing they are untouchable. Suddenly, the lies they told unravel, their past actions resurface, and the people they fooled finally see them for who they truly are. This divine justice is far more powerful than any immediate punishment because it ensures they are brought down publicly, often by their own actions. Take, for example, a narcissistic CEO who built an empire on lies and exploitation. They pretended to be a visionary leader while secretly mistreating employees, manipulating business deals, and cutting corners for profit. For years, they silenced critics and controlled the narrative. But then, at the height of their success, when they were receiving awards and praise, a whistleblower came forward. Evidence of fraud, abuse, and unethical practices surfaced, leading to a massive scandal. The same media that once praised them exposed their corruption, their company collapsed, and they went from being admired to being disgraced. This is how God works, allowing narcissists to rise just high enough so that when they fall, it is undeniable and irreversible. Their own arrogance becomes the tool of their humiliation. Number 5. The inner torment they can't escape. One of the most mysterious yet undeniable ways God punishes a narcissist is by trapping them in a prison of their own mind. No matter how much they pretend to be happy, powerful, or in control, deep down, they are haunted by a torment they can't escape. Unlike external punishments like financial loss or social downfall, this suffering is internal: constant paranoia, emptiness, and a desperate need for validation that never truly satisfies them. They spend their entire lives trying to outrun their own brokenness, but no matter how much they manipulate others or build a false sense of superiority, they always feel a gnawing void inside. This inner torment is God's way of ensuring that their own mind becomes their punishment, making them restless, anxious, and never at peace. Consider a narcissistic public figure who appears to have it all: fame, fortune, and admiration. On the surface, they seem untouchable, but behind closed doors, they struggle with crippling insecurity. They constantly need applause and validation, fearing that without it, they are nothing. At night, they lie awake replaying conversations, obsessing over how others perceive them, and fearing exposure. They can't enjoy their success because they are always chasing the next source of admiration. The more they try to prove their worth, the more miserable they become. This is the torment they cannot escape. No amount of power, money, or control can silence the emptiness within. While they may fool the world, they can never escape the punishment of living with their own unhealed, restless soul. Conclusion. God's justice isn't always instant, but it is certain. Narcissists may believe they are untouchable, but their actions come back to haunt them in ways they never imagined. If you've ever been wronged by a narcissist, trust in divine timing because their day of reckoning is coming. What are your thoughts on how God deals with narcissists? Let me know in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.